The beach at Cape May, New Jersey. One of the loveliest stretches of sand on the east coast of America. Crowded by equally lovely, or at the very least interesting, people. Danielle Moonstar is among them, soaking up the sun's rays in an attempt to forget recent events.
I can't believe Xi'an is missing. I can't imagine what it's like having an alien queen side-blast your mind. I've only known Karma for a short time, but she's become a friend. The rest of the team is dealing with her absence in their own way. But this is the only place I feel I can be at peace right now.
That peace is short-lived, as Danny sits up to see two women in the midst of a fiery twister. One is completely engulfed in flames, and the other in a sleek black dress, which does little to hide her curves. The one on fire is the first to speak.
What is it with you people? Can't you just leave me alone?
Danielle looks at the girl, and then over to the woman opposing her, and wastes no time inserting herself into the conflict.
Excuse me, but can you two talk this through? People are trying to enjoy themselves.
No kidding. Maybe you should ask my old teacher, Celine.
You can call me Black Queen, child. And I've got one more lesson to teach.
You're crazy, and I'll have none of it.
You think you can escape me? I haven't succeeded for so long because I'm crazy. People like you have kept me alive and full of youth. You're no different.
The girl of fire hurls a ball of flame as a warning shot at Celine. The sand beneath her feet fuses into glass, causing the dressed woman to temporarily halt her advance.
I knew the White Queen had people brainwashed, but you're something else. You're unhinged.
Come now, Amara. The White Queen and I are nothing alike. If you'd only submit, you'd see that.
I'd rather go to hell itself. But you can tell me what it's like first.
This time, Amara Aquila throws another ball of fire, but aimed directly at Celine, who twists around as if she were performing ballet on the beach. Her dress swirls with her as she avoids the heat.
More rhetoric. I've heard such for a millennia. Many have tried to end me. Their bleached bones are a testament to their success.
But could they summon molten fire at will?
Another lesson. It's called magma. Perhaps that is a more fitting name for you. Despite your ability to do so, I've my own elements to command.
The older woman's dance comes to a stance as her arms swirl and the ground beneath their feet begins to rise, forming two giant sand golems. Amara is not prepared as the monstrosities force her beneath their weight and douse her fire.
Ah!
Danielle can no longer observe and leaps into action. As she draws closer, she notices that Celine appears much older than her prime, by decades. The usage of her powers, draining as they are, don't stop Celine from sensing the newcomer. In an instant, the Black Queen twirls and drains a fraction of Danielle's life to enhance her own beauty once again.
What are you doing to me?
Danielle Moonstar waits for no response by focusing on Celine. The Black Queen stumbles backward as her nightmares come to life. The very face of death stalks her almost into submission. But the illusion is to no avail.
Your pathetic interference has only made you my next victim.
Once again, Celine waves her arms hypnotically. The sands swirl down in a spiral pit. From deep beneath the earth, lava bubbles up as if with a life of its own. After months of being able to turn people's nightmares against them, Danny's own fear becomes personified. She is paralyzed as a large, demonic bear materializes before her. The animal begins to stalk her, yet turns toward the largest source of negativity in the vicinity. Celine's eyes widen as it closes in on her. Frantically, she swings her arms and commands the elements. The lava pit explodes, and the Black Queen soon realizes it's not of her own doing. As the girl she called Magma shoots like a geyser into the sky, turns and hammers streams of flame onto the village. Celine has no time to scream as she falls into the pit and the sand closes atop her as if there were no disturbance at all. Exhausted, Amara extinguishes her flame and lands next to her terrified helper.
It's okay. She's gone.
Moonstar opens her eyes to see the demon bear has vanished as well.
Did you hear me? I said she's gone. It's okay.
Nothing is okay. The bear, it wasn't one of my manifestations. I have seen it in my dreams. It's something else.
I'm not sure what you are talking about, but I know that everything happening is new to me too. It's difficult to feel alone.
We are not alone. There's a school.
Oh no, I know all about that school. I'm not.
No, not that school. This one has people like us, and is led by a professor who can help us both sort through our issues. Care to tag along?
Amara hesitates, but sees the sincerity in her new friend's expression.
The name's Amara. Amara Aquila.
Danielle Moonstar.
A few hours later in upstate New York, the team calling themselves the New Mutants sit around a table with Amara. A tall man enters the room and places his hand lovingly on his sister Ileana's shoulder. The girl feels comfort in her older brother's support, yet teases him about his tardiness.
Well, it took you long enough, Peter.
Now you taunt me, Ileana. I see you've already learned sarcasm from your peers. Perhaps you can tell me what was so important to wake me at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We'd like to introduce you to our new friend Amara, and thought you should be here for what she has to say.
Apparently Blondie here used to attend the same school as your little girlfriend.
Rain Sinclair elbows Roberto DaCosta for his approach, but the towering man across from them takes a moment to respond.
Kitty? She's not my girlfriend. But she is a dear friend. Amara, is it? Do you know her?
No, I can't say that we've met, but I do know there's something not right at that school.
What do you mean?
It's as if students are being manipulated and, in some cases, controlled, like a Stepford Wives sort of thing.
Who are the Stepford Wives?
It doesn't matter. What matters is that Kitty is one of the X-Men and she shouldn't be there. She could be in danger.
Danger? How could you know that?
Because I've seen it firsthand. I took some time to myself and went to the beach. That's where I met Amara. It's also where the Black Queen followed her from the Massachusetts Academy, and all hell broke loose.
What happened?
Thanks to Moonstar, we handled it together, but Celine was an unhinged teacher there. She's also a mutant, as am I. We stopped her, but I fear that Miss Frost is the bigger concern.
Emma Frost. The White Queen. Impossible, she's dead.
Then dead women walk because I've seen her alive and healthy. She runs the school. Celine wanted her position as principal. While the Black Queen is a bit unhinged, the White Queen is more strategic. I just feel that everyone she speaks to is swayed to think like her in some way.
Now you see why we called you Peter? Kitty might be part of your team, but she's not much older than the most of us. Xavier won't just let us go there and get her back. What do we do, big man?
We must first find out if Kitty is okay. She said she would call every weekend, but it is only Tuesday. Professor would be right to have us not go without more information. We need to know her status before jumping to conclusions.
Oh yeah? So how do we go about doing that? None of us are telepaths, that I'm aware. And after the whole brood thing, well, the professor,
I might have a way.
All eyes turn to Ileana, who, despite her words, looks hesitant to act.
My recent trip to Limbo has taught me a few new talents. I am no telepath, but the whole time I was there, I felt disembodied in a sense. I can channel that feeling at night when I'm in the silence of my room, and project my astral form to any place I want. But there's a cost. I have to fight for my soul to get back to my body and to prevent the demons of that realm from escaping.
We can help you.
I have to do it on my own. The best help would be to leave me undisturbed. I can manage it, but I'll be exhausted once I'm finished.
I get it. It's a remote viewing of sorts.
Exactly.
The team is convinced, and soon Ileana Rasputin sits with her legs folded on her bedroom floor. Colossus stands guard outside her door as she breathes slow and deeply enters her mentora. A circle of magical energy forms on the floor around her as her astral form separates itself and rises through the ceiling. Then out of the house. No walls hinder her path, no distance too far. She guides her spirit north and east towards the Berkshire Mountains. In the blink of an eye, she is suddenly hovering above the Massachusetts school and plunges downward, sensing the place Kitty has spent most of her time. Slowly, her spirit descends into Kitty's dorm room, but is surprised when something there senses her.
What? Who? Oh, you must be lucky. Oh, people can't see me like this, but you're different. And cute. Where is Kitty?
The tiny purple dragon shakes its head and retreats back into the shadows. It knows it must stay hidden until Kitty returns.
No, don't worry. I'll find her.
Once again, her astral form focuses on more recent energies, and then, just like the girl she's searching for, Ileana phases through the floor, across the campus, and into a secret underground complex. Despite her spirit being undetectable to the human eye, she hides in the shadows the moment she finds Kitty tied to a chair. The girl is not alone, for her captor is instantly recognizable. Kitty struggles against the restraints, but to no avail.
You won't get away with this, Frost. The X-Men. If I don't call them...
But you will call them, whether by your own actions or my mental command. Besides, they would have already been here if they were coming.
Why are you doing this?
Charles is a fool. He may run a successful school, but his dream is flawed. The Brotherhood are equally as delusional. The world needs more strategic thinkers. The Hellfire Club has been around for centuries and blended with all society. Imagine a team of mutants under my command, but with a better purpose.
I think you're the one that's delusional. What makes you think you can form a team like the X-Men or the Brotherhood? Their followers believe in their causes. What will you do? Brainwash everyone like you're trying to do with me?
Oh, you assume you're the first. Catherine, my dear, I already have a team, and each of them are there for their own individual reasons. I just guide them. You'll meet these hellions soon.
Sounds like a bad name for a biker gang.
And the X-Men is a better name. Sounds a little outdated to me. But those are all monikers and formalities. How about we be civil and I present you with an offer you cannot refuse?
Only if you want a rude suggestion as to what you can do with it.
You really would be an excellent addition to this club with that feistiness. Now, let me explain how this works. You see, your parents are kind and caring people. A messy divorce seems to be on the way, but I can provide them happiness. I can make their minds accept what is, and they'd live happily ever after. Or perhaps you prefer your approach and prefer that they forget how to manage what they have. Imagine your poor parents, penniless, homeless, starving. Imagine. Oh, now, what do we have here? A visitor?
Kitty follows the woman's gaze to the far end of the room, only to see nothing. Nothing, that is, until the White Queen places her fingers on either side of her head and unleashes a psionic blast. For a brief second, Ileana's avatar is visible before it disintegrates. Kitty briefly felt hope, knowing that the X-Men are indeed looking for her, but that hope faded as quickly as Ileana's image. At that moment, Ileana screams, causing Colossus to shove his way through the door. To his horror, the faces of 1,000 demons are oozing in troves from his sister's mouth. He instantly reacts, his body transforming to organic metal as his fists strive to end each passing demonic form.
Liana! What is happening?
The towering Russian realizes within seconds that his armored fists do nothing to phase the haunting images, and trades his blows to a more brotherly approach. Rushing to his sister's side, he cradles her in his arms and attempts to wake her.
Liana! Wake up! Liana! Magic! Please! It is me! Your brother!
And as suddenly as it began, the cacophony of souls ceases. Magic's eyes flutter open, causing the demon's souls to cease their flurry. Tears stream down the girl's face.
Oh, thank God! Are you okay?
Peter!
What was that?
The demons. I told you they'd be a risk.
But where did they go?
With my soul back in my body, they can't escape. The ones that did, we may have to deal with later. But right now, we have to get ready. Kitty's in trouble.
Colossus and Ileana stand as the remainder of the New Mutants arrive in the doorway. Peter sheds his metal form and addresses the teenagers.
If I show up on that campus, they'll spot me in an instant. This is a situation you will all have to handle. Besides, someone will have to inform the X-Men about it all. Remember, they still think Emma Frost is dead.
A fact that can now debunk with my own eyes.
As can I.
It's settled then. We go get Kitty back, and we face the White Queen.
Time to get changed.
And with that, Rain Sinclair changes into lupine form and growls with anticipation. The Massachusetts Academy, later that evening. Wolfsbane, Moonstar, Sunspot, Magic, and Cannonball shield their eyes and maintain a safe distance from the ball of molten heat in front of them. Within that ball is Amara, burrowing a tunnel beneath the complex. The walls of dirt and grime melt away, leaving a perfectly smooth corridor.
Where's this girl been all my life? I'd put her at a 10 on the hotness scale.
Really, Sam? If she hears those lame pickup lines, you'll not stand a chance.
I'm just saying. Come on, Berto, back a feller up here.
Sunspot remains without comment, for his thoughts drift to his late Juliana. Amara's blonde hair and strong demeanor remind him of her. Those thoughts are redirected at the sudden darkness in the tunnel, as their eyes adjust to Amara's flame suddenly extinguishing.
Shh, I'm through. Magic, you're up.
Ileana pops her head through the still cooling hole, melted in an upward slant. On the other side of that threshold is the almost identical spot where she'd stood hours prior in her astral form.
This is the spot. Kitty should be just ahead.
One by one, they file cautiously through the opening. Wolfbane's wolf form allows her a psychic connection with Moonstar.
There are too many scents for Rain to distinguish. We should...
Kitty, there she is!
Kitty peers over, seemingly full of energy, yet still bound to the chair.
It's about time. What the hell kept you?
Sorry, the bus broke down on the way.
You came by bus? And I see you brought the baby brigade. Nice outfit, too.
I knew you'd like it. It used to be yours. Does the chair inhibit your phasing powers? Is there a switch to...
Ileana approaches eagerly to test the bonds. But as she reaches forward, her hands pass directly through the shackles, Kitty, and the chair.
An illusion!
Blinding light from all directions catches the team off guard, the voice of the White Queen echoing in their heads.
Surprise! I know most of you only by reputation and some not at all. We will have plenty of time to get acquainted, as Catherine and I already have. But first, I think you should meet my Hellions. You all play nice now. Your queen shall return shortly.
The lights switch off to utter darkness and then turn back on again at a normal brightness. It's long enough for their eyes not to catch the newcomers in the room, and Roberto is the first to notice, as a fist connects with his jaw, knocking him out cold.
Some test the Queen gave us. This is going to be too easy.
The man in question is James Proudstar, a towering Native American in a magenta uniform that outlines how truly toned and muscular he is. His arrogance is interrupted as Rain leaps on him, her canine jaw clamping down on his forearm.
Where did you come from, Fleabag? I didn't know Xavier allowed pets.
Proudstar grabs a tuft of fur and flesh between the wolf's shoulder blades and tosses her aside with ease. Rain changes shape in the air, causing her weight to disrupt the distance, and she swings around onto his back as a half-human, half-animal hybrid. The palm of her hand thrusts into the back of his head, the result taking the man down. In response, a disc of black light appears next to Wolfsbane. She turns to see the source, a blonde-haired girl in a similar magenta uniform as Proudstar.
Hey, Fuzzy. You were lucky to take down Warpath. But how are your hands up relaxed? I think your luck has changed.
The black light blinks out of existence, and before Wolfsbane can move, a large shelf collapses on top of her.
Need a girl to do the hard work, James.
I didn't need your help.
Could have fooled me.
Their moment of victory is disrupted as Sunspot joins the fray, his body void of color and enraged.
You're both going to need luck when I'm done with you!
Roberto lifts the shelf from his teammate and holds it high in the air, but before he has a chance to throw it towards his opponents, Roulette waves her hand. The black disc changes things in her favor yet again, as Sunspot feels the muscles in his back give way. Roulette's look of satisfaction is not echoed on Warpath's face. At the same time, Moonstar feels the pain of her lupine friend. Magic catches the look of agony and is caught off guard by a purple flash of fur. At first, she believes her attacker to be Rain, but she corrects her assessment as she is slammed into the wall. Before she loses consciousness, she is shocked to see a humanoid cat creature grinning wickedly.
Intruder, go night-night.
Moonstar attempts to intercept the feline, but notices another player enter the arena. She wears the Hellions' trademark uniform, which is accented by flowing crimson hair.
Oh, no you don't, Moonstar. Let Cat's Eye play, while my tarot cards keep you occupied.
She withdraws a card from her namesake deck. The image on it is the Ace of Wands, a large hand in a cloud, holding a massive branch. Moonstar finds herself staring for a second too long at the picture as it begins to enlarge and animate. The hand thrusts forth, swatting Danielle aside. She feels the impact of the stick as if it were just as real as the cartoonish display. It's a reading she doesn't wish to revisit. In another corner of the basement, Amara locks eyes with another Hellion. He's a handsome man for whom she instantly finds herself feeling empathy.
You feel it in your soul, don't you? the attraction to me. You know my name. Manuel is your true friend. The new mutants are your enemies. Take my hand, and let's teach them a lesson together.
Yes, Manuel. My friend.
Before Amara completely gives in to her hypnotic trance, Sam clocks the Hellion empath in the jaw, ending his attempts.
Oh! Beat it, creep! Magma is one of us!
What? What happened? Who's Magma?
You said that's what Black Queen called you. Seems like a fitting code name, don't you?
Sam!
Sam Guthrie feels every vertebrae in his spine jostled as a human missile slams him in the spine. Sam has just enough reaction time to convert his own body into a cannonball force. The pair of weapons explode through the ceiling, 2 more floors, and out of the roof of the school above, only to land in a courtyard surrounded by students. He wearily gets to his feet and sees his assaulter mirroring his defensive pose.
Oh, I think we're gonna have to start getting trademarks. Oh, who the hell are you, copycat?
The name's Harun al-Rashid. You can call me Jetstream.
Lame with a capital L. Let's see if you can do that again without my back turned.
The 2 teens convert their bodily energies, a jet stream and cannonball, slamming into each other over and over again without regard to their surroundings. Craters form in the grass, a tree splinters, and both careen through the walls of the classroom before exiting on the far side. The rumble echoes throughout the campus. Emma Frost peers from the window of her office, cursing.
Idiots. What part of keep this quiet didn't they understand?
Oh, what's the matter? Your little lackey's not doing what Queenie tells them. Tisk tisk.
Shut up, before I make you forget your own name.
Meanwhile, underground, the battle has reached its pinnacle. Magic observes Taro's animated card, squeezing the life out of Danny, and wastes no time unleashing a sword of energy. Her blade severs the arm, causing the animation to cease. Taro is ready with another card. This time the image is that of the 2 of coins. A medieval-looking man holds the coins within a loop of yarn that has no end or beginning. The man's arms begin to twist the infinite loop and thrusts forward, flinging the 2 coins. They too grow to immense size and roll across the floor as Ileana just manages to avoid the incoming objects. The coins roll forward, slamming into roulette and then dissipating. In that moment, Moonstar focuses her abilities on the card's wielder. A nightmarish image of the 10 of Swords card appears in Taro's mind. The terrifying blades taunt her as if the very deck has turned on its owner and is ready to skewer her. It's a sight that causes the victim to faint and collapse to the floor. Ileana does not hear Danielle's protest as she meditates on the floor.
Heck of a time to sit down!
Across the room, Magma unleashes a geyser of flame, singeing Cat's Eye.
Not for me! Not this day! Cat's Eye, please! No more play!
The feline girl scatters for the sake of her own life. Sunspot has since regained his footing and is in the midst of a heated series of blows with James Proudstar.
Give up already! Your team is losing!
I don't care about them. I'm going to make each of you pay.
For what? Coming to find our friend?
This isn't about your friend. It's about my brother, John Proudstar, Thunderbird.
Never heard of him.
He was one of the X-Men, you simpleton. And he died fighting for their cause.
At least he had a cause! You're on the warpath for the past. If your brother truly was one of the X-Men, do you really think he'd approve of you with these perdedoras?
It's those words that give James Proudstar pause for one moment. He hesitates, and in that instant Sunspot lands a punch that sends the larger man soaring through the threshold and into the room behind him. Roberto spins around to face another enemy, but sees Rain, in hybrid form, giving an eerie smile as she sits on Empath's unconscious form. Above, the Cannonball and Jetstream confrontation is tearing up the surrounding grounds. Realizing the potential danger to others, Sam twists his trajectory.
Too many people could get hurt. Gotta lead him back underground. And maybe use my brains instead of my powers.
Tucking his arms tight to his side, Cannonball returns to the basement. Jetstream is hot on his heels, but to the Hellions' surprise, his opponent is nowhere to be seen.
What's the matter, punk? Decide you want to play hide and seek instead?
A flash of yellow-gloved fist and kick to the back of Jetstream's leg renders him unable to refocus his powers. Sam's arms, placed in the exact spot that Wolverine taught him in training, cut off the blood flow to the Hellion's brain. It's only for a second, but that's long enough for Jetstream to lose focus on his powers. Sam stands above him, ready to act again.
Don't even think about it. Stay down before anyone else gets hurt.
The New Mutants have no time to celebrate, as a voice echoes in their heads with an intensity to not only cause them pain, but for Magic's trance to end.
Enough! How dare you people come to my school uninvited? You will never leave.
Across campus in her office, the White Queen holds her hands to either side of her head, prepared to mentally turn the tides of the battle. But she never gets the chance, as a paperweight from her desk hits her in the back of the head. It's not enough force to take her down, but it's enough to cause a headache that disrupts her mental hold. She wipes a trickle of blood away and looks behind her to find the paperweight on the floor and the chair where Kitty Pryde had been bound, now vacated.
Damn it.
As if matters weren't bad enough for her, the true leader of the Hellfire Club barges into the room.
Shaw, what do you want? I told you, this is my school. You do things your way, and I will bring the recruits. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a kitten to catch.
Leave her. You failed. Learn from it. I've got bigger plans.
What could possibly be more important right now than...
It's Celine. The Black Queen has been missing.
I can't say I'm disappointed.
Regardless, she's still a member of the club. I want to know what happened to her.
Back in the basement, 6 mutants are left wondering why the White Queen's mental probe suddenly stopped. Moonstar helps Ileana to her feet.
What were you doing? You left me to cover you with no explanation.
There was no time. I had to project my astral form for a bit of assistance.
You remember what happened the last time with the demons. Why would you take a risk like that?
Because it was quick and it worked.
How do you know?
Ileana points to a corner of the room where a small purple dragon and a friendly face phase through the wall, joining them.
Kitty! Hey guys, what did I miss?
How did you get free?
I told Lockheed to stay in my room until I got back, but someone was a disobedient little boy, weren't they?
Kitty nuzzles the underneath of the dragon's chin as he nuzzles his snout into the nape of her neck, lovingly.
I might have something to do with that.
Lockheed sees Ileana and wags his tail happily, flying around the room.
Yeah, he came just in time. As Frost was focusing her attention on all of you, Lockheed flew through a vent and burned the inhibitor attached to the chair. I was just gonna phase us both out of there, but couldn't resist taking a shot at the Queen while her back was turned. Paperweights come in handy.
Forget all that. Are you coming with us or not? We have to get out of here.
And I know a certain someone who will be happy to see you.
Peter?
Just don't tell him I said so.
Hi. I've heard a lot about you. I'm Amara, but I guess you can call me Magma.
A new member? Nice. Well, you already know who I am.
Kitty Pryde, aka Sprite.
I've been in the shadows of this school for too long. I think Shadowcat is more appropriate.
I like it.
Okay, now are we ready? Before the full Hellfire Club shortens our reunion.
One by one, the teens enter the now cooled tunnel formed by Amara earlier, glad to be heading home. That evening, on the grounds of Xavier's school, Rain, Danielle, and Ileana sit beneath the stars in a circle. Above them, Lockheed sleeps on the branch of a tree.
My people meditate when we speak to the spirits. It helps us control our inner demons.
Aye, we've all got demons lately, lass.
That's an understatement.
Shh! Just follow what I do. It'll help you focus and clear your mind. Think about what you want, and focus on that alone.
Their moonlit surroundings enhance the serenity of the night. Ileana strives to perfect her astral projection without letting anything else into the material plane. Rain focuses her short-fused temper into a calming peace. Danielle just prays for a sign that Jeanne is okay, while attempting to ignore the nightmarish demon bear from the day prior. The flesh on the back of her neck stands on end as she pushes through the images in her mind. The few moments of peace are disrupted by the snap of a twig not far away. Lockheed cranes his neck, squinting in the direction of the sound. Nothing. Rain's trance is disrupted as her senses are on high. She doesn't need to be in lupine form to know that they are being watched. The three teens stand as Lockheed floats down to perch on Ileana's shoulder.
Who's there? Sam? Is that you trying to scare us?
Just out of their line of sight, a black, oily substance slithers through the grass. In its wake, the blades of green foliage assimilate to the form, which comes to a halt at the tree near where the girls stand. Slowly, the puddle gains form and stands upright.
What in the hell?
I've been to hell. That is nothing I've ever seen.
Magic unsheaths a blade of energy, prepared to cut down the intruder at the slightest hostile move.
Wait! Look!
The tree begins to take on the properties of the black form. Veins and arteries of phosphorescent circuitry define the bark and branches. The creature develops features and then weakly extends what looks to be a hand. It's difficult to tell. What stands before the trio is a cartoonish creature. Both eyes are orbs of yellow with no pupils. Its arms and legs are both different lengths and proportions, with some semblance of wiry hair protruding from the top of its head. Where its one arm touches the tree, the texture of blackened bark appears on its body, as if the two living creatures were one. Then, the black suddenly recedes into the creature as it collapses weakly, its expression one of concern.
I think it wants our help.
No! Wait! Don't touch.
Danielle's warning comes too late as Ileana reaches out and gently touches a finger to one of its outstretched digits. Instantly she recoils as her entire left arm takes on the properties of the same bioorganic material as the strange being. The puddle resumes half of its prior humanoid form, as if just that touch gave it some strength. And suddenly, it speaks.
Self needs assistance.
You speak?
Self no harm to you. Self friend.
My arm, it's returning to normal. What did you do to me?
Replicate. Siphon. No harm. Somewhere safe must go. Self will explain. Must hide. Danger.
Danger? From what?
Something is hunting him. Something not of this world.
How do you know that?
When it touched me for a moment, I saw its thoughts.
What is it?
I don't know. But I think we need to have Warlock here. He's an outcast among his people. Like mutants.
Truth speaker. Ileana Rasputin. Also known as Magic.
I wasn't sure this day could get any stranger. And yet here we are.
Ladies? Warlock? Let's go see the professor. Maybe he can make some sense of all of this.